Hello, welcome to our tutorial. In our previous lecture, this is where we stopped, and I gave you guys an assignment to complete the remaining aspect of this project. So, well, if you remember, our last tutorial we discussed about and how we can actually incorporate CSS into. We made mention of external um, internal CSS, and the last one, which is the inline method our working environment. And we said it is actually the type whereby you have your CSS in an external file that you later link to your document. Then we said is actually the type of CSS that you have in between your open and close header section. The internal CSS, the explanation I'm giving now is quite different from what I explained earlier, but take note of this. The internal CSS is actually the kind of CSS you have in between your open and close header. So immediately, possibly at the down part of your close header, you can open your close tag and your open CSS style and the close CSS style tag. Then if you remember the last time, this is an internal CSS whereby I said you declare your style. Are you getting it? After you must have declared your style equal to, then you open two brackets, open two quotes. Then immediately after that, you can incorporate your CSS property. This is a CSS property, while this is the property value. Then, as I told you, you can actually combine more or two properties together. Then now, if I want to change, for example, now I don't want to make use of these what's it called, the inline CSS. I want to change from the inline CSS to the internal CSS here. So what you simply do, for example, I have a title here called, let me declare h1. You just hit enter. Let me say welcome to a new page. So now if I go back to my web browser and I refresh, I should have something like this: welcome to a new page. Are you getting it? Then now let me go back to my internal CSS. Because had it been I want to make use of the online CSS, you know what to do. Just activate your cursor here, you hit space, style, and blah blah blah. But this one I want to make use of the external CSS. I'll just come here in between my open and close tag, then I'll just type h1. As I type the h1, I open and close my curly brackets, then I hit enter. Then whatever property and the property value that you want to attribute to the h1 down, it can come in between. I can just say color, and I already told you that the color stands for the text color. Let me say blue. That's okay. So when I go back and I refresh, you see that the color has automatically changed to welcome to my new page. Of the color has changed. Then now I can add more attributes, just like your inline, whereby what you only need to do is for you to just, once you come here, you close with your close semicolon, then you can actually open another one just like we did here. Are you getting it? The same thing applicable to this side here. So what you do, you just close it. After you close, you hit enter. Are you getting it? You hit enter to move to the next line. Let me say I want to give it maybe font size of let's say 8px. Then I can just come. Once I refresh, it's not taking okay, it's already taking effect. So that is it. If you want to add more, what you simply need to do is to still hit enter. Are you getting it? Then now this is how you can actually reference from your open style and close style to a particular element on um on um on your web document page using a tag name. You know, h1 is automatically a tag name. Let's take for example, now I'm having another h1 here. Whenever you declare h1, this is what you're going to see. Because if I go back now and now refresh, I'll still be having the same h1. Then I want to give a separate attribute to this second h1. Another way you can actually reference to HTML element on your working environment using CSS. Actually, another way you can actually reference to HTML element on your work using class. Let's say for example, I have a class which is equals to, let me say, header. Are you getting it? Let's refresh and see if it will take the same effect. It's still taking the same effect. Then let's see, since we're already having a class of header, let's come to this place. I want to open another another reference point for a different element, because the h1 is a separate element on its own. Then I have another h1, a separate element where I have a class name as the header. So since I'm making use of class, I'll put my dot, then header, open my bracket. Let's say color is equals to red. Let's see if that will actually works out. Okay, as you can see, the color of this one has actually changed. Are you getting it? It has changed. So now if I just come here and I say maybe I want to increase the font size of this one to, let's say, 8px. Okay, it's still assuming the font size. Okay, I'm using 8px at the top and here is 8px. Let's say I want to change it to like 4px. As you can see, it's smaller. So these are ways you can actually reference to different elements using class. You can use the name, the element, the tag name as a whole. You can actually reference to it using class name. Or for example, let me use another one again. I want to declare a h2. I can just type h2, hit enter. It will automatically open and close the h2. That's the image shortcut. Then now I want to have something like subheader. Then this h2, I want to reference to it using another reference option, another reference syntax. For example, I can just have id, which is equals to, just put my id, let's say header 2. So when I refresh now, you should see something like this, a subheader. So if I want to reference to an id, I'll just do it like this, header 2. Then let's say font size, let it be equal to let's say 6px. Are you getting it now? Font size equals to 6px. So when I come here, you see that it has changed. Are you getting it? So let me just use color. Let color be equal to green. Then I refresh. You see that the color has changed to green. So these are the three ways you can actually reference to a HTML element, either by using the tag name or by declaring class for that particular element, or you actually make use of an ID. That of ID is hash. followed by the name of the ID, while that of class is dot followed by the name of the class. You open your curly bracket. Then at the end of each line, you close using your column. Are you getting it?